Boom! Morphed again. Greetings, fellow Space Marines. This your boy, Mr. Alan D1, aka Alondo1. Before we get started, just so you know, every shot of me you see, I morph. That's how we Space Marines stay camouflaged. Boom! Morphed again. Welcome to the Halloween special, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, I have a special announcement. The Toby Accessibility Mod version 9.0 is now available. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, version 9.0 is finally released. Boom! Morphed again. Before I get into the details of what version 9.0 has to offer, stay tuned until the very end of the video for a super special announcement. So without further ado, let's get into it. Boom!
First, let's go over what has been fixed or updated since RC1. My team and I have updated or fixed pre-existing accessibility features. We updated and fixed the tutorial and sandbox levels. Players can now skip the intro dialogue simply by moving their player forward. And speaking of the tutorial and sandbox levels, both Toby Heretic and Toby Hexen now have their own tutorial and sandbox levels. And speaking of Toby Heretic and Toby Hexen, they too have been updated a bit as well. Lastly, we expanded compatibility for some gameplay mods to mitigate any conflicting scripts. We'll be doing a little more for version 10.0, but for now, Brutal Doom and Project Brutality should work with minimal issue. If anyone does come across any issue, please let my team and I know. Now let's go over some of the cool new features version 9.0 has to offer. First, there was a tiny update to the crusher sounds. Anytime a crusher touches the floor or ceiling, there is a thump sound which can help you gauge the speed and height of the crusher. The faster you hear those thumps, the faster the crusher is going up or down, or the distance the crusher moves up and down may be short, which in this case means you may have very little time in between the crusher's movement to pass under it safely. More modifications will be done to it in the future to give the player more accurate information so they won't wind up being a pancake, but here's a little demonstration of what I'm talking about. Next, we have a really cool feature many of you were asking for a while. It is the hurt floor detection system. As you know, hazards in Doom come in various forms, but one hazard type that is commonplace are damaging floors. Whether it's the radioactive waste, lava, or toxic slime, you name it, these areas will eat away at your health if you're not careful. Fortunately, the hurt floor detection system will give you a heads up when you are approaching an area containing a damaging floor. When you approach a hazardous area, you'll hear the clicking sounds of a Geiger counter. And to toggle this feature on or off, you press the semicolon key. Here's a demonstration of the feature. Next is the chessboard coordinates checker. This is essentially a cousin to the coordinate checker, but what the chessboard coordinates feature does is it divides the map into regions, zones, and cells, giving players a broader sense of their movement throughout a level. There are two keyboard controls for this feature. First, toggle chessboard coordinates on and off. While active, as you move your player, each change in your location will be automatically announced stating what region, zone, and cell you are in. The default keybind for this is Insert. Second, check chessboard coordinates. This will announce your current region, zone, and cell, and the default keybind for this is Delete. Here's a demonstration of the chessboard system.
Chessboard coordinates enabled. E3 D3 D4 D5 E5 F5 F6 Region C2 Zone A7 Cell F6 Chessboard coordinates disabled.
Next up, we have a new beacon for shootable switches. Some levels in Doom have switches that require you to shoot them in order to open a door or do some other kind of action within the level. Most of you are probably familiar with John Romero's Sigil WAD, where players were required to shoot evil eyes in order to progress. Even though the evil eye decoration is just for show, however, when the player shoots at it, the hit scan bullets or projectiles pass through shootable line defs, which are the very triggers being affected. Since the shootable switches now spawn shootable switch beacons, not only will you hear an audible beacon sound from a distance, but you too will hear a special targeting sound emitted by the targeter system telling you that you are aiming at a shootable switch. Here's a demonstration of it.
Box of ammo.
Next, we have the Weapons and Items menus. Whether you're playing through Doom, Heretic, or Hexen, you'll be encountering various weapons and items along your journey, right? Sometimes you may find yourself in a position where you're surrounded by hostiles, ready to pounce on you, and you realize you don't have the right weapon or inventory item selected to deal with them at that moment. So, what do? Well, you can bring up the Weapons or Items menus to pause the action, giving you a moment to evaluate what you possess, how much of it you have, and decide which is appropriate for the situation. To open the Weapons menu, press comma. To open the Items menu, press period. Here's a demonstration of the two menus. I'll be using Heretic for this demonstration since Heretic and even Hexen both have an inventory system.
Weapons menu. 1 Gauntlets of the Necromancer. 1 Staff. 2 Gold Wand. 160 Wand Crystals. 3 Ethereal Crossbow. 75 Arrows. 4 Dragon Claw. 190 Claw Orbs. 5 Hell Staff. 370 Runes. 6 Phoenix Rod. 33 Flame Orbs. 7 Fire Mace. 50 Mace Spheres. 5 Hell Staff. 370 Runes. Hell Staff. Items menu. Time Bomb of the Ancients. 6 Quartz Flask. 12 Mystic Urn. 3 Tome of Power. 3 Time Bomb of the Ancients. 6 Menu dismissed.
Next, we have a new quick cheat feature. Many of you are familiar with the God Mode cheat, Give All Weapons, Items, and Keys cheat, and Level Change cheat. Now, we have the Radiation Shielding Suit cheat, which toggles the Rad Suit on or off in case you don't want to have to walk over damaging floors. This can be toggled on or off by pressing keypad 8. Here's how it works.
Rad Suit activated. Shells. Shells.
Lastly, there were updates to the sound cue directory. Even though this was introduced in RC1, the directory was updated a little bit. Also, as a reminder, in Toby's Death Arena, it has a special bot spawner menu that you can bring up by pressing keypad 1, in case you like to face off against computer-controlled players.
Bot spawner menu. Spawn Blake. Spawn Archon. Spawn Blake. Spawn Brock. Spawn Doom. Doom spawned. Mention dismissed. Green armor. Health bonus. Shotgun. Health. Shotgun. Shells. Box rocket launcher. Shotgun.
Other than that, that's really all the new stuff version 9.0 has to offer. There will be a version 10.0 down the road, and as you probably can guess, it'll contain mostly updates and improvements to what is already in the Toby Accessibility Mod, and will be further expanding compatibility for other mods as well. One particular thing that will be included in version 10.0 is compatibility for Legacy of Rust and the new map sets for Heretic and Hexen, along with some of the new weapons and enemies they all have. One final note, Operation MDK had been updated for version 9.0. There was a tiny modification to map 5 which fixed a little glitch that my team had pointed out. The download for it will be in the description below, along with the download for the Toby Accessibility Mod version 9.0. Also, be sure to check out Storm Dragon's Toby Doom Launcher for those who want to get straight into the game with minimal issue. Definitely check his stuff out. I'll have the link to that as well. Now for the super special announcement. I mentioned a while ago I had been doing some work on a special edition of my first novel, Adventures of the PPA Invasion. I'm happy to announce that this special edition will be available the third week of November, the week of the 16th. I will have the ebook version of it available for free that entire week. From November 16th to the 22nd, everyone will have the opportunity to get their hands on a free ebook copy of the special edition of Adventures of the PPA Invasion. This special edition has been polished up to not only look better, but sound better. In other words, it's a better quality story that you're getting with less amateurish writing and less cheesy plot points. Also, you'll be getting your hands on bonus lore called the PPA files, which gives you some background information about events that happened before the invasion took place, such as the backstory of the main antagonist. More bonus lore will be added to my website, ppanovels.wordpress.com, in the future, so check back now and then for some cool new bits of lore. Here's what the new cover looks like. Check it out. I'd like to give a big thank you and shout out to Mark Graham, the artist who helped me put together this cool new book cover for the special edition, and I strongly recommend you guys check him out on his website or his DeviantArt gallery for all his amazing works of art. That information will be in the description down below. Also, if anyone is looking for an artist who does really awesome sci-fi fantasy artwork that you may need for a book cover or a video game box art, this is the man to do it. Thank you, Mr. Graham, for your amazing work. Really, it is freaking amazing. Thank you very much, good sir. So remember, November 16th to November 22nd is when you all can get your hands on the ebook version of the special edition. Even if you miss this offer, the price of the ebook will still remain the same as the original edition of the first novel. If any of you want to support the work that I do, getting your hands on my novels does help. My goal is to give people a better alternative to storytelling that goes against the negative and distorted agenda Hollywood, the book industry, and the gaming industry puts out. If you're sick and tired of the same old gloom and doom nonsense that these companies produce, purchasing my novels can greatly turn the tide on how we can produce and distribute entertainment that not only entertains, but can positively affect a person's life by inspiring them to live a better life and help them overcome the obstacles they may be dealing with. I believe in lifting people up. There's always a way forward through the darkness. Hope is not lost. Where there is darkness, there is light. Let us be the shining light for those who are lost in the dark and show them a better, more positive way forward.
Boom, morphed again. So that's it for now, folks. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button for more Doom and retro gaming content. Boom! Morphed again! And as you know how my outros go, if you're watching this during the day, I wish all of you a good day. If you're watching this during the evening, I wish all of you a good evening. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a happy and safe Halloween, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.
I'd like to give a big thank you to Team Toby for all the amazing work they do. A huge thank you to Illegally Cited, Carl Grantham, and TDoomShoom5440 for helping out immensely with the beta testing. A supermassive thank you to Predoa for all the amazingly cool features he had worked on. And be sure to give this guy a lot of love for all the incredible hard work he had put into many of these features. Seriously, he's done an incredible job with everything. Also, a massive thank you to Stormdragon for his awesome work on the Toby Doom launcher and for being an important part of the beta testing team. His technical support has been extremely helpful to everybody. In addition, Stormdragon 2 has released his own audio game on itch.io called Wicked Quest. It's essentially a blind player-friendly platformer with a Halloween theme. I will put the link to it in the description below so you guys can go check it out. Really, go show him some love. Lastly, thank you to everyone else who has been providing helpful feedback. We really appreciate you guys for your support. Until then, I'll see all of you in the next video. Take care.